Welcome racing fans in for a Friday afternoon racing action here at the Red Mile. If you have out your racing programs, we'll take a look at this afternoon's changes and programming notes as part of our 9-race card. Races 1 and 2 are both clear. Again, the first 2 races, no changes. We do want to point out in the second race, we have a 50-cent Pick 5 carryover, $4,167. Get a carryover at your 50-cent Pick 5. Again, in race 2, it's $4,167. Moving into the third race, we have a pair of scratches in race 3 to kick off. Once again, a pair of scratches in this afternoon's third race to kick off that early pick 3. Scratch a 6 Jacks Ready, the 7 Bagger Vance. Take out number 6 and 7 in race number 3. Races 4 through 8 are clear. No changes races 4 through 8. Please note the pick 4 this afternoon kicks off in race 6. $1 minimum, $10,000 guaranteed pool in this afternoon's pick 4. First 3 parts of the pick 4 clear, 6, 7, 8. On to the 9th race. That's the nightcap this afternoon. Scratch to 1 for Ribby. Ribby is out, scratched from this afternoon's 9th and final race. Once again, welcome aboard racing fans. We are set for day 2 of Grand Circuit action here at the Red Mile. I am Gabe Prewitt, and pleased once again to be joined by my good friend and partner, Dave Brower. Dave, welcome.
Thank you, Gabe. We're in for another wonderful afternoon of racing. A little bit warmer today. That's been the theme here in Lexington for the past month, I guess, and it will continue throughout the Grand Circuit week, this week and next. Hot and dry.
And it could be a record temperature day here in Lexington. If we reach 92, which I do believe we are forecasted to reach that temperature, it would be the hottest September 27th on record. So tough, but it's better than being cold and miserable.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. You know, we're used to these difficult conditions for us running back and forth between here and the winter circle, but it's fun. We had a good day yesterday. Lots of great storylines to talk about, and we look forward to more bluegrass action this afternoon.
Yes, plenty of stakes action today. In fact, 6 stakes overall on this 9-race program. We'll get to that in a couple of moments. Couple of housekeeping notes, Dave. We do want to mention to our guests both on track and arriving on track this week and next week, the clubhouse is open. So if you want a great view of the track and a great meal, go check out the clubhouse. No reservations needed, at least at this point. You can walk up and enjoy a great day of racing over in the clubhouse while you're with us here at the Red Mile. Also, Jeremy's down at the gift shop,
right,
and he's hooked us up with some swag here this afternoon.
We've got matching shirts on today, so we look like a professional team here this afternoon. Thank you so much to Jeremy for hooking us up, I guess is the best way to see it. And there is no Red Mile trip complete without a visit to the gift shop. He's got all kinds of great stuff, whether it's summer stuff that you need, nice short sleeves and t-shirts and things like that, but he's also got sweatshirts and hoodies and things, hats, memorabilia. You have to go visit Jeremy. We guarantee that you will not be disappointed.
That is correct, and he actually is getting a lot of new merchandise in today. So if you've already stopped by, make sure to stop in, check out some of the new merchandise. Even the old school logo, Dave. I'm a big fan. This is like pre-2004, I believe. He's got some of that merchandise down there as well. So stop in, see Jeremy while you're with us on track here at the Red Mile Gift Shop. We had the 2-year-old trotting colts in action yesterday, Dave, and we saw a world record performance from the gelding Amigo Volo. Not a bad way to debut on the Grand Circuit for Treader Carter Penske.
What a great story that was, and I got to speak to Mr. Penske out in the winner's circle afterwards. Amigo Volo giving Dexter Dunn, I think, his second winner of the day and the world record for a 2-year-old trotting gelding. The track's going to be fast again today, so we can look for a lot more new lifetime marks. Maybe an odd, record or two. That'll be your job to keep track of that. Bluegrass Series, we've got trotting and pacing fillies this afternoon, and on the who's hot and who's not list, so to speak, we always talk about the hot. Yesterday was Jonas Cernison, one big long shot winner, and the Svanstad barn. A lot of people on Twitter are catching on that the Svanstad barn is really firing on all cylinders last night. Got to speak to Oka and his wife Sarah last night at a gathering, and I think a lot of their horses are just getting over sickness. So make sure you factor that into your handicapping for the rest of the meet.
Yeah, a couple of impressive stakes victories from that Svanstad barn. You said it as well. Jonas Cernison with a double. Both of those paid generous prices. In fact, won a bomber, as you mentioned, a $90 winner. Our big biggest upset as part of opening day. Well, all news from the wager again, Dave's going to sit around this pick 5 carryover. This is a very healthy carryover, well over $4,000. And again, just a 15% takeout on that new money. It's going to present a very nice wagering opportunity for those out there today.
And I think it'll fit anybody's budget because there's a couple of big favorites in there that you might consider singling. Buxton, I know, is one of your plays, and a little later on, Sister Sledge, she's unbeaten, so she might be one of your singles. So lots of handicapping to do. I know you burned the midnight oil. I chose to go to sleep, so no question about that. But it's going to be a lot of fun handicapping that throughout the afternoon. A couple of shout-outs today, some harness racing birthdays. Brian Brown, happy birthday, Brian. He turns the double nickel today. I don't know if he wants me to say that, 55. Blair Burgess, Hall of Fame trainer up in Canada. And I think I forgot to send the birthday shout-out yesterday to Hambletonian winning driver Bob McClure. So, hopefully we can get Bob down here at some point to do some driving over the rest of the Grand Circuit meet. Our congratulations to one of the top drivers up in Canada who celebrated a big milestone win yesterday.
Sylvain Fillion, number 9,000. So he's been one of the perennial leading drivers on that WEG circuit, obviously for many years. And we do congratulate Sylvain on that major milestone, his 9,000th career win in the bike. Well, Dave, without further ado, you're going to have some great guests today, by the way.
Absolutely. We've got 4 guests lined up, including 3 Winner's Circle interviews. We're going to talk to racetrack wizard Dan Kuhn early on in the card because we got to send him back to work, of course. We're going to have top owner Bill Donovan. He's got a lot of things in the fire going with not just his racehorses, but some connections over to Ireland. And we're going to speak to not one, but 2 Elizabeths. Elizabeth Caldwell of the Cane Run Farm and Elizabeth Yance of the Anvil and Lace Farm. We'll talk to her before the last race. So I've got a lot of good questions set for them, and we're gonna cover all the bases today. We're gonna talk, to the racetrack guy and owner, and then a couple of breeders. So it should be a lot of fun.
And Dan should be smiling after that world record from that Amigo Voldo, the 2-year-old gelding, in yesterday's 9th and final race. Well, we'll dive into the handicapping action here today. We are going to kick things off the late close event. It's for the 2-year-old colt and gelding trotters in the opener, Dave. And I believe we're both going to try and take a swing here to beat at least a horse that's a morning line favorite and that's opened up a big favorite. We're going to take a swing to beat the 2 Mesa Raymond.
I was going to say, how do you say that? Meister Raymond, right? Okay. All right.
I said it quickly.
You did, but you did it very well. That's why you're the announcer. Tough race, Gabe, to kick off the card here with this late closer. I ended up with the 1 Sermon per Engblom. Very good qualifier. A lot of times you look over the lines of these horses, you say, I see a couple of breaks, I see a scratch sick. It's, again, it's a long season for some of these horses, and they do have their quirks along the way. But when I see a qualifier on paper like that last one, that's what I'm looking for. I see Yannick Gingras driving. That was his choice over the 6 Sheena's Soldier for Nancy Johansson. So I'm going to put my faith in Yannick, who will have a very long day. After he gets done with the card today, he's got to head up to Dayton for the Dayton Derbies.
Yes, a good card up there at Dayton today, and we'll be checking out all that action, and we'll be talking about that, I'm sure, tomorrow on the pregame show as well. But I like a colt here, a Cantab all colt, Dave. Durhamville, I'm just going to shuffle the deck slightly from you. I'm going to stay with that inside trio. But Durhamville, very good qualifier here locally as well. He was second behind the veteran Trolley, who went on that tear, of course, up at the Meadowlands over the course of the winter. Trolley, very talented trotter. I think Durhamville is much better than what we've seen so far. He's raced twice. He's made breaks in stride in both of those efforts. But I think this trotter has quite a bit of talent for the Lindy Farms connections here. We get Scotty Z at the bank for the first time this afternoon. So Durhamville for me, and hopefully he'll stay up there at a decent price, maybe better than the inside pair there in the opener. Second race does kick off that 50-cent pick 5, so this is where it gets important. Again, 4,100 and change in that pick 5 carryover. But getting in the second race, we are both on an undefeated filly here, Dave. I'm not quite sure we may get that 6-1 that I made her on the morning line, but she is very talented, and that's a 7, Senorita Rita.
And full disclaimer for the morning line there, we got a chance literally to, just before we went on the air, we saw Linda Toscano warming up Senorita Rita, and I'll tell you what, I really liked what I saw. I was glad that I got to see that. Sometimes it's difficult while we're doing all these things to turn around and watch between race warm-ups, but if you're a handicapper, it's so important, especially if you're here with us on the grounds. Senorita Rita, she just looks like she's got that profile where she might have gotten a little bit sick at some point over the course of the summer here, but she's back to the races with a strong qualifier, a nice easy win, and you've got a little backstory about Scotty Z with that.
Well, the September 12th race here a couple of weeks back, it was just a regular overnight card. There were no stakes that night. Scotty Zeron obviously would be at any number of places. on any typical racing program or race night. He actually came in town just to drive Senorita Rita in that overnight event. It was just a $5,500 purse, but that tells me he's got a lot of confidence in this filly, and he thinks she has some top-level talent. 2 for 2. It was a completely easy victory, just as easy as it looks on paper that night. So 6-1. She may play decent there, but it is the first leg of that pick 5, so she takes more action. Everyone's going to be tuned in.
I would imagine she will take a little, and she's got quite a pedigree as well. Daughter of Chapter 7 out of a Donato Hanover mare. Cost $285,000 at the Lexington Select sale last fall. Mr. Ken Jacobs, one of the big owners for trainer Linda Toscano. Of course, we're talking about Walner.
And we can't discount a lot of these other fillies. This is a talented group in our first of 4 stakes divisions for these 2-year-old trotting fillies. The 5 Shishido, Dave, I used her second. I know you tossed her on the ticket as well. Nice runner-up here in the Kentucky Sire Stakes behind Miss Savannah Bell. And that's a filly that's going to be a big favorite later on in the card today. She was close in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes final as well. We know she has talent as well, daughter of Father Patrick.
Yeah, and Dexter Dunn, of course, had a really good day yesterday, and he's just been on fire since he arrived in North America. So no qualms with that there. That's a great start last time, some improved early speed from the inside post. So we'll see what Dexter opts to do today. She had been raced from off the pace prior to that. I see names like Sister Sledge, Crucial, so she's got some talent, and we'll see what trip Dexter wants to give her today.
Okay, that's a look at the first stakes division on this afternoon's card. On to the third race. It's another late closing event here. Kicks off the early pick 3. We've got a pair of scratches in the third race, taking number 6 and 7. Buxton, Dave, seems to really stand out on paper.
Yeah, this was the one that you told me about when we were peering over the program in advance yesterday. And obviously the task got a whole lot easier for Buxton with the 2 outside scratches. Love to see Bob Stewart here in the winner's circle at his home base. And this is a homebred for Carter Dewar and his Peninsula Farms here. Very, very consistent. Even a good rally behind an uncatchable winner up in Ohio at Delaware. Prior to that, an Ohio Sire Stakes consolation where he went right down the road at 1-5. So I think we're looking at possibly those kinds of odds again today. That could be your single in that pick 5.
Yeah, I think it's a slam dunk single in that sequence for sure. It actually could have been maybe even a winner in his last start. It was going to be a lot closer, but he had some traffic trouble. He didn't get out there until very late. When he did get out, he was really flying late at a very nice colt. It's Academic, who we saw racing stakes action yesterday. So Buxton seems to tower over that field. If you have to get past this big favorite, which way would you look in race 3?
I'd probably look for a little bit of a price play with the 1 Bargain Bob here. Homer Hochstetler has been using Tyler Buter on a bunch of horses, and Tyler's going to hop aboard this one for the first time. Again, improving after a couple of mistakes. Sometimes you give these young horses a couple of weeks off. They come back with a refreshed attitude, especially when they get here to Lexington. Bargain Bob, those 2 qualifiers at Vernon Downs, that's kind of what you're looking for. Some early speed, some good late kick finishes. Tyler will be sitting in, saving ground, and trying to get lucky late.
And I'm going to go with a very similar angle. Horse that qualified early in June, missed a couple of months there, brought back maybe after a bit of a freshening. It's a set of tricks in the 4 Jula Tricks Treasure. Caught my eye a bit in here, Dave. Yannick Gingras choice over the 2 haul it off. This guy added hobbles for his Lexington qualifiers, $145,000 yearling purchase last fall for Top Connections here. Try to pair Ingblom. So who knows? We'll see. Career debut today. It's a tall order to face a horse like Buxton, but we're about to see what's under the hood.
Yeah, work in progress for sure. Jula Tricks Treasure, say that 7 times real fast, was ready to go. Pretty much the second week of baby races at the Meadowlands, but then you see that 3-month gap. So that leads to something went wrong. You don't know whether it was physical or whether a little bit of sickness, but came back with those hobbles on. Improved efforts, went 59, went 57 and change, so might be ready to go faster.
Okay, and that's a look at race 3. On to the 4th race, first of 2 here. It's the Art Speak for the 2-year-old pacing fillies. Well over $139,000 on the line. One of the more wide open stakes divisions on the card today, this afternoon, Dave. You can really go a lot of different directions here. It tells you just how wide open this race is when a horse like the 8 New Year, who has not done a thing wrong, she's 2 for 2 undefeated, but she's up there at 10-1 in the morning line. It's just a tremendously talented and deep group.
It's a question of whether New Year is ready. She's got that royal pedigree, being a daughter of Some Beach Somewhere out of one of Ross Krogan's fastest mares ever dropped the ball. So there's extreme speed in that pedigree. And they didn't rush her. Her first qualifier was down in Harris Philly in late August. She then, the light bulb went right on right away. She's got a 2 for 2, but that outside post will certainly test her. This might be your all race. If you wanted to use so in the pick 5 here, you could go any different number of directions. I took a shot with the 5 Hidden Cove, who you've got at 12-1, so I'd like a price too. Marcus and Irv Miller had a winner yesterday that seemed like was well meant, well bet early and late, so look for some tote action on Hidden Cove. And my angle for the New York bred is that I just think she likes the big track. She's performed her best efforts have been on bigger size ovals. So.
And we have seen over the course of the last several years, Irv Miller team up with Marcus in the bike here for some major upsets in Grand Circuit action here. So that barn typically has them firing on all cylinders when it comes here at the fall at the Grand Circuit. So it wouldn't shock me to see a big effort from her as well. I agree, just so many different directions you could go. Ultimately, I gave my top call, Dave, here inside of the One Beyond Ecstasy. Daughter Sun Beach Somewhere for trader Jim Campbell. She was used hard there from post 9 in that Kentuckiana stake up at Hoosier Park. Wasn't one off as a 6-5 favorite. So maybe the tough early fractions took their toll a bit late. But this is a filly that's been very good. She's been consistent to begin her career.
Don't leave her off your ticket. That's my advice there. You can't really leave off Jim Campbell here, daughter of Sun Beach Somewhere as well. But look at the company lines. You talk about used hard over at Hoosier Park. And she didn't exactly quit that badly. She still paced home in 28 under intense pressure. Prior to that, she was in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes Championship. And you see who won that race? Lion Sentinel. Lion Sentinel came right back and set a world record, I think, or an equal to track record up in Canada. So 2 out of 2 very key races beyond Ecstasy. Tim Tetrick, of course, had a winner yesterday, the most recent entrant into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, he is, and a well-deserving honor at that. On to the 5th race this afternoon, 2nd division for the 2-year-old trotting fillies. Quite a matchup here, Dave. 2 Sister Sled. She's undefeated, 7 for 7. The Pennsylvania Sire Stakes champion. Talented filly in here as well, though, the 6 Hello Tomorrow, who was a runner-up in the Peaceful Way. So those 2 fillies going to go at it. Yannick listed on both. He opted the 2 Sister Sledge, which tipped me that direction as well.
Well, the most unhappy guy when the sheet came out was obviously Yannick, because he loses the drive on Hello Tomorrow, at least for this week. He's the main driver for the Burke Brigade, main driver for trainer Per Engblom as well. But I've watched Sister Sledge. She hasn't done anything wrong. She's shown no signs of vulnerability whatsoever. She's got the post edge, so I'm going to go with her. She'll be the favorite, and she'll be the one to beat.
Could be a single there in that pick 5 sequence as well. But I know you like a bit of a sneaky long shot to be close here, and that's the 4 Common Sense. So we saw, again, the Svanstead barn just red hot yesterday on the opening day Grand Circuit program. And this is a daughter of Trixton that had won 4 in a row, Dave, before making a break in stride there in her last start of Freehold.
Yeah, she's a Jersey bred, Common Sense. And again, we talked about the Svanstead stable really picking up steam, especially here at the Red Mile. This filly's got plenty of speed, and for me, that's the key. She might be able to land in that spot right behind Sister Sledge or when they settle. And then at that point, all you got to do is keep up. It might not be that easy, but we're going to go for a long shot underneath.
Yeah, should be a good price there in the 5th race, no doubt about that. 6th race going to kick off that pick 4 here on our Friday afternoon card. 1 ticket out of the pick 4 yesterday afternoon, $7,500 for a bucket. It was not an overly difficult sequence. Just shows you the power of that $1 minimum. It's not easy to come up with a winning combo. When you do, you'll be rewarded.
And you were mad that you didn't hit it. One key mistake in your handicapping.
Thanks for the reminder.
I just got to get that out there. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Hey, nice field here for sure. Field of 9 in this 2-year-old pacing filly event. The full sister to Artspeak, Gay Waterhouse sprung the big upset over Baby You're the Best. So the rematch is on here today, and hopefully again next week. Looking forward to a sensational race here.
And I know you're almost looking for a replay of the Kentucky Sire Stakes final, because you've got Gay Waterhouse on top, Baby You're the Best underneath, and even Blood Red back at the 3rd spot.
Yeah, tactics will be key in this race. You don't know how it's going to play out, how the drivers are going to want to do it. Really good article, I think, that was in the press about Baby You're the Best and how they expect her to bounce back today, which wouldn't surprise me at all. But, you know, sometimes horses, when they jump up with a big one like A. Waterhouse did, they come right back with another one. Inside post, speed, stalking trip. Watch out, Yannick.
And I'm going to try the top 2 back from the Naked Sire Stakes final as well. Going to toss on the Carter Penske tradie as well. Annabelle Hanover there, who's been very good in Pennsylvania to begin her career. She's got some tactical speed there as well. Dexter Dunn in the bike there in this afternoon's 6th race. We move on to the 7th race as we get set to kick off the late pick 3. And we've got a red-hot filly here, Dave, the Kentucky Sire Stakes champion, Miss Savannah Bell. She's ripped through her competition locally, 52 and change. Very easy win here in that big money final.
Yeah, homebred for Al Libfeld up in Ontario. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is the filly, to me, that certainly is the one to beat. She's won 3 in a row with differing styles, so you know she's versatile. She'll be able to do whatever Yannick Gingras wants. And as if she needed it, she drew the rail in here. That's an intimidating spot here. We're a little bit different underneath. You went with a 6, Love a Good Story. I went with 7 Times a Lady. Again, the Svanstead barn, 8 starts, 8 times on the board. I love consistency.
Yeah, and I think both of those New York fillies have been very consistent. The 5, 7 Times a Lady, the 6, Love a Good Story. They've both been 8-time starters, both made big money on the New York Sire Stakes circuit. And I think they're both going to really pick up quite a bit moving to the big track here this afternoon. So wouldn't be shocked to see either one of those fillies finish very close, possibly behind that big favorite, Miss Savannah Bell, in race 7. Move on to this afternoon's 8th race. It's the final stakes event on the card this afternoon, 4th division of this Bluegrass Series for the 2-year-old trotting fillies. Ramona Hill, Dave, talk to me about your thoughts here. This is an undefeated filly, 3 for 3, racing that Kentuckiana Consolation last time. She was very good. I know we were both very impressed when she first began her career mid-July there at the Meadowlands.
I don't think we know how good she is yet, and we'll get a little bit of a test today because she's stepping up in class to face legitimate stakes fillies as well. Ramona Hill started off in that kindergarten series, and that's a great proving ground for young horses that may be a little bit late to the party. She's shown extreme speed. She's got that wonderful pedigree. She only cost $70,000 at the Lexington sale, but she's worth much more than that. The daughter of Muscle Hill, 3 for 3. Andrew McCarthy, we'll see what he wants to get done today. Sometimes you want to race horses from off the pace. Sometimes you want to put them on the lead and test them out a little bit. It was on the lead last time, so Ramona Hill's going to be the one to beat. Yeah, she just won so easily. Like you said, we just don't know how good she is at this point. We're looking forward to seeing her back in action there in this afternoon's 8th race, just her 4th career start. 9th race, it's going to close out the card. Super high 5 wagering. We've got scratched down to 10 here at the nightcap this afternoon. Dave, tomorrow, I believe we've got 13 for that super high 5 lined up. So that's a big field and a great bet. Yesterday's super high 5, just at 8-horse field, it paid $3,200 and change for 20 cents. Was that you? No. I leave those kinds of tickets to you. And this one's going to be tough today, too. But I had to redo my selections and re-rig a little. My top pick, who was going to be a little bit of a long shot, Fire Abbey, by the way, is how you say that, for Tani Camilleri, is out. So let's go to the 5 Gold Class N, who will undoubtedly be the favorite now. Trent Stoller's got a couple of mares in here. Gold Class N debuted as a 5-year-old. You don't see that too often. 14 lifetime starts. 7 wins, all so far as a 5-year-old, but very dangerous barn. That's a super powerful win up at Hoosier Park there in a hard condition there. 9 winners of 4. She was 6-5 with John DeLong. She wired the field and pretty much sprinted away. So I'm looking for similar today. She's very sharp right now, no question. As you said, just debuted as a 5-year-old. She's won half of those starts. And how about the other recent import for Trent Stoller, the 8 Bounty Lady? This isn't a bad mare as well. She hasn't raced in nearly a month, Dave, but she gets home very, very nicely. She does. The big problem there might be the post because she hasn't really been an early speedster so far, so it'll be up to Brian Sears to work that out. But I see that qualifier behind Toll Drink Hanover. That's what you're looking for in a qualifier, especially with an aged performer, an experienced racehorse. Just tow along. I wish I had seen it myself here. Elliot Deaton probably strangling her at the end, home in 26-3. So Trent Stoller might have a shot of being 1-2 in there, and that if you could get that to key your super high 5, it'll give you plenty of room to spread out underneath. Okay, and that's a look at the action here on this Friday afternoon. We're looking forward to all your great interviews and guests here on the set as well, Dave. Keep up the great work as far as that goes. And for everyone out there, don't forget that Pick 5 carryover, better than $4,100. And it begins on this afternoon's second race. Horses for the opener will be on the track shortly.
Over their 600 acres, many premier broodmares, yearlings, and stallions are able to roam. Midland Anchor's success in the past provides momentum for the future. So, if you are breeding your mare or purchasing a yearling, Midland Anchors will put you in the winner's circle, doing our best to bring you the best.
Our passion and our promise to breed the best and sell the best so you can race the best. Crawford Farms, home to more than 100 impeccably bred broodmares, sharing lush forever fields alongside racehorses and retirees. They call it the sport of kings. We call it the love of champions. From our farm to the winner's circle, share our passion. Crawford Farms.
Wimback Farm was #1 breeder in Delaware, New York, and Ontario for 2018 Sire Stakes. Since 1998, Wimback Farm graduates have won over 37,000 races and won close to $350 million. Wimback Farm is proud to be the breeder of 2018 Meadowlands Pace and Little Brown Jug winner Courtly Choice. In 2019, Wimback Farm will be selling at 5 yearling sales. Don't miss your chance on a Wimback winner. Visit wimbackfarm.com for more information.